Hey folks, I don't usually talk about politics, but if you're like me and you're like, you don't really follow it yourself, and everyone else is talking about Egypt, and you're like, what the hell's going on in Egypt? This is a quick wrap-up to let you know what the hell's going on, so you're not a big idiot at a party later on when somebody's like, oh, the blah 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 blah. See, I would actually be able to, like, say what those things are, but I can't. So look, if you're not into world politics or anything that has to do that isn't a game, then don't watch this. Be ignorant, that's fine. Come back next time when I have something funny, because I will. I'll have funny videos again. In the meantime, for everyone who's interested and wants to try and figure out what the hell's going on, here's a wrap-up of just what's going on in Egypt. So here are the basics. Egypt's like this really big country. It's like a giant 80 million person country, which makes it the largest country in the Middle East, the third largest in Africa. It's primarily Muslim and Arab, and it touches Israel, which it's not very fond of. It's also east of Tunisia. This is really important because the Tunisians just had a lot of protests that led to the downfall of the Tunisian government. And the Egyptians were like, we got a lot of poverty, we don't have a lot of rights, we're not very far down on the democracy index. Point of fact. The Democracy Index, which can be found on Wikipedia, holds about 167 countries, ranked from how free they are to how free they aren't. Tunisia ranks 144, Egypt really close with 138. For reference, the United States falls in at 17, Germany 14, Australia 6, Sweden 4, topped off by Norway at the #1 spot. So shit's fucked up there. And say hello at number 167 to our friends in North Korea. Meh. So based on all this, tens of thousands of Egyptians took to the streets in protest. But not led strictly by a grass is greener, they did it, we should do it philosophy. Many Egyptian protesters have pointed to a specific incident as inspiration for their unrest. Many have cited the June 2010 beating death of Khalid Said at the alleged hands of the police as motivation for their rage and protest. Obviously, there are bigger things at stake here, and it's a little bit more complex than Tunisia because, oh, I don't know, America's been giving them $1.3 billion in military aid annually. So now that basically gets you up to speed to what was happening around Tuesday. It's now Friday. Things are fucked up. Now I'm not going to recap an entire week, but I'm going to give you some highlights just so you can wrap your head around some things. So first off, you're going to want to go check out this video, which people are equating to an Egyptian Tiananmen Square movement. Alright? Ooh. Check that guy out. Balls. Balls! So in addition to protesting, people clearly took to the internet, going to Facebook and Twitter and things like that, and uploading crazy pictures, videos, insane things happening. Some interesting things happened, like, oh, I don't know, Facebook kind of figured out that the Egyptian government was trying to go into Egyptian Facebook users and erase their profiles and things like that, so they put a stop to it. Some other things include things like tear gas attacks. There was a live stream from Cairo that was up and it was down, it was up, it was down, stuff like that. The State Department put out a release from the US saying that we're keeping an eye on things, so you better not hurt people, Egypt, because boo on you, or I don't know, crazy stuff like that. Al Jazeera has a live streaming channel in English you can go watch. Wednesday morning, Jack Shanker, a reporter for The Guardian in Cairo, was beaten by Egyptian police, and there's apparently an audio recording of that entire event, which you can find, I think, off his Twitter. Thursday morning, thousands of protesters in Yemen called for their leader to step down. According to The Arabist on Twitter, protesters in Suez started throwing Molotov cocktails. The US State Department and a lot of other people on Twitter started using the hashtag January 25th to embrace the Egyptian protesters. So if you want to tweet out the January 25th hashtag, go for it, that's your hashtag. The Egyptian Football Association postponed all games until further notice. 1,000 people had been arrested. And then AP Television posted a video of a man being shot. Soon after, The Arabist reported that the Egyptian government had shut off the internet, which was followed by confirmation from an Italian-based internet server that no information was going into or out of Egypt, with the exception of this awesome Ustream video that live streamed, theoretically from, I guess, a satellite phone or something of that nature. Then I went to bed knowing that whatever the heck was happening while I was asleep, because it was daytime over there, was going to be even more intense. Okay, so here are some quick highlights to what's been happening on today, Friday. Alright, so the morning got off the speed again with some protests, some significant violence going across Egypt. Mohad el-Brahaba Habahniha is apparently under house arrest, but the regime has shown no signs that it's going to concede. It's not going to break up, it's not going to go away, it's not going to give up easily. The Egyptian government announced at 6 p.m. a curfew throughout Cairo, Alexandria, and other cities, which is interesting considering the fact that protesters have basically forced security forces out of Alexandria, the second largest city in Egypt. Al Jazeera put up a video between protesters and riot police. The protesters are trying to organize evening prayers in front of the riot police. And Al Jazeera reported in Alexandria was escorted off of the phone and away from a report or something of that nature. And apparently security forces were taking Al Jazeera camera equipment and taking Al Jazeera off the air in Cairo. Now, Mubarak was supposed to speak. I don't know if that ever happened, but it sounded like he kept getting postponed. Okay, and then the curfew began, but apparently it had no friggin' effect because nobody curfewed, or whatever you do for that, where you just don't go anywhere else. There's like a live video on Al Jazeera for that. The BBC has a video of one of their journalists who was beaten and electrocuted by Egyptian police. Really? Then Al Jazeera confirmed that the NDP, National Democratic Party, Egypt's ruling party house headquarters, was on fire! Then there was gunfires and explosions in Cairo. Then apparently Al Jazeera showed a video of police firing tear gas on protesters as they were praying. I haven't been able to find that video online, so if anyone knows where it is. Then the Associated Press reported that protesters had stormed the Egyptian Foreign Ministry, and then Mubarak extended the curfew to the entire country. Then this happened in Cairo. Then again, like, it had been several hours until Mubarak was supposed to talk and speak, and he never showed up. Fires at the headquarters and ruling party continued to burn, out of control. Then the U.S. released a statement that it was going to review its stand on providing Egypt with help and blah blah blah. Things continued to get crazy as protesters stormed a state TV station and freed prisoners from a detention center. Then this lady kissed this officer. Wow, iconic photo. Robert Gibbs released a statement, press secretary from the White House, that the U.S. is monitoring the situation. So that's pretty much it. I'm actually just reading here right now that Al Jazeera reported that top regime and NDP members, party officials, are leaving Egypt on private jets. No word on Mubarak. The Speaker of Egyptian Parliament is supposed to release a statement soon, so actually by the time I get this video up, this whole thing could be over. Who the hell knows? Pretty significant day, so there's that. That's the news for the day, and you've just been filled in. I'm filled in, Sam Proof. I don't usually do political videos, so please subscribe and check out my other videos. I do a lot of sketch comedy and vlogging and stuff like that. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think of this situation. Rate this video. I'm gonna keep kicking the thing so the camera moves. I don't really care if you favorite it. It's a video about politics and world matters and stuff like that. But if you can say anything, all you can say is it was definitely a significant day in history. Egyptian and otherwise, I think. So, I'll catch you next time, and stay strong.